Welcome to the Ronni Resonance Podcast, a space for women in transition, becoming, and rebirth. I'm Ronni, an intuitive guide, mentor, and multi-dimensional human learning right alongside you. Here we explore identity shifts, intuition, alignment, purpose, and the deeper truths you've been feeling but maybe haven't said out loud yet. This is where you return to yourself, gently, honestly, and with resonance. Take a breath. You're exactly where you're meant to be. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Ronni Resonance Podcast. Today, we're going to be switching into a new monthly theme. Last month, we were talking about identity shifts. And this month, we're going to be talking about self-worth and confidence. And I think it's interesting that I'm doing this after identity shifts because I think one of the hardest parts about moving into a new identity shift is having the confidence to do so. And I think a lot of us look at confidence as something that we have to work extremely hard for, or we have to be hustling in order to be confident in this thing. And lately, I've just been noticing how tired confidence feels when it's forced, because I think when we are hustling, a lot of it is force and maybe not so much like our own, like what we want to be doing necessarily. It might feel uncomfortable. And I just want to talk about why rest actually comes before confidence. A lot of us, again, we're trying to put the cart before the horse. And I think that confidence doesn't necessarily equal doing more, proving more, showing up louder. Because I think there's a simple truth in there that if confidence feels exhausting, it's probably not confidence, it's over-efforting. A lot of us were taught that rest comes after we earn it. And again, it's another millennial thing that we've all been through, that our parents or other adults in our lives who are older than us had made us feel that, we weren't ever going to get what we wanted to get or have the confidence to be or do what we want to do unless we, earn it, hustle for it, whatever. Rest is really where identity stabilizes. And when we stop performing, we meet who we actually are. So a lot of the time when we're performing, we are performing. It may not be you or how you would normally do things or act or whatever. And when we stop acting that way and we just do what feels good and makes us feel confident in our own way, then truly we do meet who we actually are. And when we are doing too much and we're over-efforting, it's going to lower our self-worth. There's so many things that people are constantly trying to overdo, when in reality, it makes them feel less than because it's depleting their energy and it's not allowing them to have energy in other areas that they're more aligned in. And the more that you realize that you're doing so much and you feel chaotic and you don't have necessarily the confidence, you're trying to force the confidence, you are ultimately hard on yourself, which doesn't add to your confidence. It actually makes it less, honestly. It's like this, when you're proving this thing, you're proving energy, it will reinforce that you're not good enough, or that the feeling that you're not good enough, because you're just trying to prove it so much to somebody else. And it's like, if you felt you truly were whatever, then you wouldn't feel like you needed to prove it to anybody. You would just know. And that is literally what confidence is all about. Really, pausing is more about reclaiming that energy of confidence. Pausing instead of just constantly proving, pausing and thinking about it, pausing and thinking about what you want, what you're aligned with, that is going to reclaim that energy. And that energy comes back when we stop chasing it. If you're constantly putting energy into something that's not aligned, you're doing yourself a huge disservice, but you'll see your life change once you end up pivoting that energy into more aligned things, or allowing yourself to just chill the fuck out, honestly. When you have more of that enoughness, it's going to create more confidence. Because when you literally simply say the words, I am enough, I think that in itself holds a lot of confidence in yourself. Just knowing that, this knowing
despite what anyone else thinks, if they think you are enough or they think you're not enough. And confidence grows quietly, not necessarily forcefully. So again, like, it's something that you have to slowly gain on your own terms in your own way. And it's not something that you can necessarily force. And if you force it, it's not going to be, it might be perceived confidence. It's not really being confident or feeling confident. It needs to feel kind of like more of a soft unfolding of confidence and not like this list. Like if I do A through Z on this list, I'm going to be confident after that. I don't think that that's true. I think you really have to allow yourself the space to grow that confidence. I want you to notice where in your life you feel pressure to prove others or prove yourself to others, and where rest might actually be the bravest choice for you. I am a projector with my human design chart, and with that requires me to have a lot of rest. And the reason for that is when I rest, I have more energy for the things that I want to do or I need to do. If I'm constantly trying to push and overwork myself, then I'm burnt out and I don't have time for the things that I need to do. In this identity shift from one thing to the other, I'm not going to go into detail right here, but there was a point where this one thing I realized stopped working. It just wasn't working anymore. And it was kind of like an obvious slap, like a slow realization of like, I don't even know if I want to be doing this anymore, if this is aligned with me anymore. And I started to panic, like I needed to figure this out. And I slowly kind of figured it out. There was a moment that I was kind of forcing this, but I think as I started going into this identity shift, I started to realize that I wasn't going to have this all figured out overnight, and it was going to take time to move into this new version of myself. And I felt kind of scared about this new version because everybody knew me as one thing for so long, like one identity that I really held on to. And now I'm at the point where I'm doing a whole new thing, and a lot of people may not understand it or agree or resonate with it like they did my other stuff that I was doing. I had a lot of fears around having confidence around this new identity. And I'd even gone on talks with certain people who wanted to coach me in the middle of me talking about my new identity and how I need to have full confidence when I talk about what I'm talking about, which is true. Yes, I want people to trust me, but I'm also a real person. And not only am I helping other people go through what they're going through, but I'm also developing my own confidence about talking about the things I'm talking about, because there's something that deeply resonate with me. I deeply feel and want to share and talk to other people about, but it's just not always something that I feel I'm super confident about. And that's something you have to grow into. And what I had to tell myself is, instead of forcing like, I'm so confident about what I'm talking about and just like faking it till you make it type of thing, is just like not helpful, I think, to myself and I think to other people, because the more I'm forcing this confidence, it's like, it's pushing something to become something before it's even ready to be there. And I started to realize that I needed to chill the fuck out, honestly. I needed to just like slowly take it day by day and only work a few hours a day and, put out what I can put out and talk about the things that I want to talk about. Even if I'm not 1000% about it, I still want to talk about things, even if it doesn't resonate with people, or even if I don't know every little detail to this particular topic. This is really to start a conversation with people. So I guess what I'm saying is, you really have to think about not rushing it, because you're going to have more sustainability. I've realized that like I'm pushing myself so much to the point that I'm going to like be burnt out with this new identity before I'm even in the new identity, which is insane. Like we shouldn't be doing that to ourselves. So it's just important, like any new thing you do in life, like even if you absolutely are so excited to do it and you're so like, this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing, you may not feel completely confident doing that right out the gate. Like I had to be like, what do I even know about these things? I don't know anything about what I'm talking about, but it's not true. I do know. I've had at least 15 years of adult experience and business ownership, client relationships, having employees. There's been so many things that I have learned over the years. And so I'm not getting on here to talk to people like I'm some expert today. I'm again, starting a conversation and talking about things that I find interesting and that I feel like would be helpful to other people, things maybe other people aren't talking about. So it's not going to take, it's going to take a long time to end up getting fully confident and embody this new thing completely and have just complete confidence over that. So even when you're starting something new that sounds really exciting to you and you're really excited to do it, it doesn't mean that you should just expect yourself to be confident immediately. Confidence is truly going to be born from this inner calmness or stillness first. And I think it's important for you guys to know that you don't need to become anything, that you're already stabilizing who you already are just by doing everything in alignment. As long as you're doing that, the confidence will come. If you are forcing things, you're doing things that you're already burned out from, you don't enjoy, you dread even doing it, you're not going to feel confident about that. I talked about this on TikTok a couple days ago, but like, the more that you force things, the more chaotic you're going to feel. When you can think with a clear mind, there's so much confidence that can come from that because you're able to think clearly and know what you're aligned to, what you're not aligned to. I'm going to be going into more of like the how we can gain this confidence through stillness in my extended podcast in the sanctuary. So after you watch this one, I highly encourage you go watch that one. It is for my premium and VIP members. However, you can subscribe for free under the standard tier. And that really gives you a lot of like journal prompts and insights and updates and conversational posts and things like that, really around the monthly theme, but really any topics at all that we want to talk about. And so we're going to talk again a lot about confidence and self-worth in the Becoming Sanctuary this month. So we're going to dive a lot deeper into this, but I'm going to end the podcast here today. But thanks so much for watching, guys.